Hi guys, I'm a game developer and I have been making games for about 3 months now, and it's time to make a confession. In these 3 months, I've started working on 4 projects and I haven't finished even one of them. So, a few weeks back, I had just thought, what if I challenge myself to make a game in 7 hours? Yeah, you heard me right. Not 7 weeks or 7 days, 7 hours. That's all I have. That ways I would have my first game and also it would be a great YouTube video. Before getting started, if you haven't already subscribed, then do that just now and like the video. With that said, let's get right into it. So before making a game, I needed an idea. Well, luckily this time it just took me 10 minutes to come up with one. So here is how it goes. Spikes will be spawned every few seconds in the scene, and the player, which is a ball, needs to dodge these spikes to collect randomly spawned coins around the scene. If the player dies, the amount of coins collected will be the final score. To start, I am going to need a plan and write down all the tasks that I need to do. This step is extremely important. If you don't have this habit, try it next time when you start a new project. You are going to realize how helpful it is. The first task that I needed to do was to code the player movement. So what I wanted is that the player moves towards the click position and continues to move in that direction until the player clicks somewhere else on the scene. As easy as this sounds, it wasn't as easy to make, especially for brilliant programmers like me who spent about almost 4 hours just figuring out how to make that ball move. And by figuring it out, I mean. So after spending 4 hours on Unity Answers and Discord, I had finally come up with a solution. So I added a polygon collider 2D and a kinematic rigid body 2D component to the player object, and it could now be affected by physics. Now it was time for some coding. First, in the player movement.cs, we needed 4 variables: a direction variable, which was a vector 2, a camera variable named cam, a rigid body 2D variable named RB, and last but not least, a int variable named speed. Then using if input.getMouseDown 0 in the update function, I can let Unity know whether the player clicked or not. If the player clicked, the direction variable will be equal to the cam.screen-to-world-point input.mousePosition minus transform.position.normalized. Now the game knows which direction the player will move, but we need to add velocity to the player so it won't just be floating there and doing nothing. We can simply do that by rb.velocity equals direction into speed. Okay. So then I added a trail renderer component to the player which made the game look a little bit better. The player is finally done. Wow! The next task was to code the gameplay, dodging spikes and collecting coins. I was really worried as there were only 3 hours for me to complete the game. So I just made a spike game object without any hesitation. By the way, the spike sprite is actually just a triangle but rotated. No one cares. Next, I attached a polygon collider 2D component to the spike and also created a hit animation for it. I then made several copies of it around the border. At the end of the spike animation, I added an event which disables the spike. Now I just had to re-enable itself once the given conditions are met. Then I created a script inside the spike prefab spike.cs. In the script, I made an array of type game objects which will store all the spikes that I want to spawn. I just set all the objects inside this array to true on trigger. What this will do when player will trigger the hitbox, the specified spikes will spawn to kill the player. Then I just checked if the player collided with the spikes. If it does, then I destroy the player game object after 2 seconds and instantiate a particle that I made using the Unity particle system. Then I started making a death scene and a start scene, which hardly took 10 minutes to make. Then I added a text UI element which displays the score of the player, and I just quickly took a coin sprite from opengameart.org as I had very little time left. I attached a coin script to the coin which increases the score by 1 when the player hits the coin. After that, I had to make a score system and spawn coins. So how I did this is made a new script called coin instantiator, and what it does is just spawn coins randomly inside of a specified area. Now it was time to add some music. I downloaded some royalty free music from the internet and put it in my game. And finally I had a game that I made myself. But right now it looks horrible, and in the next video I will show you how I made it look and feel a lot better. That's it for today. See you later in the next video.